Video 72. 72 is an important number. It sums to 9, the number of great wisdom. We're going to be getting into 9 in this video particularly. 72 is the amount of years it takes for the precession of equinox to go 1 degree. 72 is the number of bricks on the pyramid on the dollar bill. 72. Numbers are important. So, today's video is a continuation of the Wizarding for Abundance series, and it's part 3. Kind of fun how it sums to 9, and it's part 3. That's going to come in handy. These are key topics, okay? So, before we get into it, okay, first of all, okay, as always, the main first step, most important step of all, is declaring intent. So intent here is to benefit all living beings, alive and dead, future and past, friends and enemies, rich and poor, smart and dumb, everybody, okay? This is given freely, and this is a participation. Everyone who watches this and gives it any attention or time is adding to the power of it, and we're all cooperating in this, okay? And this is done for universal benefit to friends and foes. And it's to correct scarcity mindset within and bring abundance. So there's all kinds of stuff that comes into that, okay? Like I said, mind is primary. Everything starts in the mind. All our actions originate in the mind. All our memories and senses and everything are functions of the mind. Okay? That's where everything begins. So if you want to initiate anything, that's where you begin. So this is why we create thought forms. This is why we learn runes. This is why we learn mathematics and geometry, because these are all symbols that the mind is built to encode with, and it has a pre-existing system that can basically work with these types of thought forms. And sometimes we're unaware of our thought forms that are inside our minds, and sometimes these thought forms can bias our perceptions, and they can cause us to undertake actions and formulate strategies in a confined way. And so in order to transcend that and exceed our capacities, we have to alter things at that level. It's called upstream causality, and it's a recurring theme with all these videos. So, but today we're focusing on abundance, okay? So, what is abundance? Something that's plentiful, something of which there is a limitless or at least extremely vast supply, right? And this is the antithesis of the scarcity mindset in which most people exist. And scarcity tells you everything's hard. You got to work. You got to, zero-sum game and try to win over everybody. You got to try to get your share and get your piece and like all that. That's poverty mind. No matter how rich you get, you're going to feel poor if that's your mindset, okay? Plus, number one, it's completely antithetical to the truth of reality, okay? Just look. You see that? Where's the scarcity there? Like what I just showed you, I don't know how focused and good it was. This is all food. This is all food. This is all nutrition. If you really want to get serious, you could press it down and turn it into clothing and fiber. That's what like felt and fucking all these fabrics come from fibers of plants, okay? So there you got food and clothing right there. Nutrition. Okay? So was there any where is that going to run out? You know what I mean? It's not like that. That's not how nature works at all. You mean, see that? See those eucalyptus trees right there? How many seeds do you think those trees produce? Have you ever picked up eucalyptus pods? There's so many. How many of those will ever become trees out of those millions? And it's the same with humans. Think about sperm cells. Every time you nut, that's like hundreds of thousands or millions of sperm, dude. Okay? Women have so many eggs. They're never going to ovulate all their eggs in their life. But yet they have a superfluous abundance, okay? Of what? Life force, the grand design, intelligent design, right? To provide for everyone, okay? So this is reality, okay? This is not an opinion. This isn't culture. This isn't some kind of aesthetic sensibility. This is the facts of reality, how matter and energy and living things work on the principle of superfluous abundance, transcending scarcity in every way. If you go to the fucking Sahara Desert, there's tiny little microbes and spiders and little critters living under the hot sands of the Sahara. If you go under the ocean to some volcanic flume that's like a molten metal flow of sulfur and mercury and fucking molten liquid metals from under the earth. There's little microbes that live in there. You couldn't even count them all. You know what I mean? Plankton and stuff like that. That's how nature works. That's reality. That's what's all around us. It's a system, a self-renewing, self-replicating system of superfluous abundance. So why do people have poverty mind? Okay? Babylon. That's where money began. Okay, what is Babylon? Now this gets, okay, I kind of touched and alluded to this yesterday in the other video, talking about the similarities between the symbolic, some of the components of the Babylon myth with these Norse mythology myths, okay? But there's one key difference, and it relates to what I'm telling you about, the scarcity and separation mindset of Babylon. When the tower gets blasted and everyone can't communicate, they stop cooperating. They can't cooperate anymore, and they can't rival the gods anymore, okay? They lost the universal language of humanity. And most importantly, conceptually, they thought of themselves as separate. So now what happens? Now you have the whore of Babylon. Now you pay for sex. You pay for human intimacy. You pay for comfort. You pay for the basic, most essential life functions of vitality and life force. You pay with coins and gold to the whore of Babylon. Okay, so this is not what we have with Norse mythology. We have Odin and Frey. They're independent. Odin's fucking immortal. He can go to the 9 worlds. He has every piece of wisdom and information that exists. Okay? Frey is a fierce fucking warrior. She will kill anything and anyone. She can wield every weapon and every tactic. She's brilliant and beautiful and so powerful. And technically, I suppose she doesn't really even need Odin, and he doesn't really even need her. They're independent. They're free human beings. And they are the embodiment of the natural power and limitless life force of all creation. Okay? Now, I made a lot of videos about how all Christianity and these world religions we have now are based on Babylon. And it's based on prostitution, number one, and human sacrifice, blood sacrifice of animals and humans. Okay? That's the cult of Babylon. This is a different deal. This is not plentiful nature God kind of stuff. This is human sacrifice and murder, where Inanna murders her own son. And then when he's in hell, she wants to have sex with him, so she brings him back to life. This is the kind of shit that our society and the pedophile Catholic Church and these religions that we have now are based on Babylon. It's not fun and it's not good. And it's the antithesis of life force and abundance and prosperity and healing power. And COVID-19 is a perfect example. You know, it's not a threat to any person. The technology to wipe out every coronavirus is so simple. And every tribe in the world that can do this, they have all the medicines anywhere in the world you go. Okay, so why do people believe in this pandemic that's worth destroying the entire world economy? Because they're in a death cult. They worship death gods. They worship gods of human sacrifice and enslavement. And they think of themselves as slaves. They don't think of themselves as free human beings who are co-creating their reality through willpower and wisdom, great knowledge, and personal effort. They're not looking to daddy to give them a fucking welfare check and give them a universal basic income. They just walk outside and eat and drink and play and make crafts all fucking day. They don't have to slave for tokens. Okay? Think about that. This is how humans have existed for millions of years. What we're living in now is an anomaly, and it's a prison, and it's a slave. It's a slave system. If you can't see that and you don't recognize that, I pity you to the end, because you're never going to make it. You're never going to get out of that. Okay? And it's false. It's not even true. It's not even based in any reality. Okay? So we're going to give you the opposite. We're going to give you the 9-3. We're going to give you the matrix of life and wisdom. Sophia in the Gnostic system is number 9. She's the 9th. Okay? And we're going to have Odin has 3, and Freya has 3 forms. Okay? The letter Fehu. Okay, this is where we begin. First rune. I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is. First rune. 3 lines. Okay? 3. There's always three. Okay, Odin is one of three brothers, but they all fuse into one in his being. And Frey has three aspects similarly. There's three goddesses of fate, which also starts with F, just like Frey, right? So now we're going to look at Wotan's rune, and we're going to look at something that's different than the way we looked at it last time, okay? Because it's a combination of two runes, and I'm going to show you how. And this gets into abundance. This is actually the foundation of what we're dealing with in terms of abundance, right? So this rune is called Gebo, right? Gebo. And it's, so the simplest rune, which all the other runes are made of, is Isa. It's just one line, right? But Gebo's two. See that? Cooperation. Two people coming together with a common goal and to exchange and give and take. It's like a contract or an agreement or a handshake. Two people cooperate, give and take. Karma. It's the beginning of all karma. Okay? This is how we get abundance. Or poverty, depending. If you have a zero-sum mindset, Babylon mindset, you're always going to try to steal. You're always going to try to one-up and save a penny and do all the stupid bullshit. In a world of total fucking abundance, you're a slave if you do that. Okay? So Gebo and Feu. So Feu she's giving you a gift. Gebo means gift. To give, gib, or give, right? Same shit. I could get into the Hebrew and stuff and how that all relates, but I'm not going to get into that. Okay, well, let's look at Geb, the Egyptian goddess, or the Egyptian god of the earth, Geb. Same shit. To give. You take something in your hand and you give it to someone else. Mutual exchange. Okay? This is the basis of all abundance. And what I'm telling you is thousands of fucking years old. And if anybody anywhere knew this, our society would never exist. Can't. So I'm changing the law, and I'm giving you Odin's law, which has been defamed and stolen and appropriated by these Freemasonic Babylon cults. So I'm going to give it to you. I'm Geboing it to you. And I'm showing you how it works. And you can create abundance and success in every endeavor. Okay, so to complete Wotan's rune, we take that Gebo right there, and we add a Kanaz on top, right? So here's Kanaz by itself. Okay, this relates to Cain, right? But it also relates to cannabis, right? Right? And it means wisdom. But it also represents a torch and a fire. So it's the burning bush. The cunning bush, or to ken, K-E-N, means to know something, to have wisdom. To keen, you have a keen intellect, right? You're cunning, which means you can take any situation and use your intelligence to innovate and come out ahead and create a spark and a flame and a new innovation that was there. Okay? So when you add Kanaz to Gebo, you go from like two twigs rubbing together, now you spark the fire. Okay? Two people work together to create a fire, right? Or two sticks, or two things create friction, and then from there is the spark. But you could think of the friction in a way as a kind of cooperation, where both strengths are added together. And since both strengths are combined, it's almost like they're pushing against each other, but that creates this spark out of which life comes, right? So interestingly, through that cooperation, we get fire, which also starts with F, just like Frey. And if you take the two runes that are most associated with wealth, Othala and Feu, there you go. And what is that? It's a woman inside a house. She's protected. She has what she wants in the sacred space, and what she doesn't want in there is not in there. And that's how Odin and Frey cooperate. That's how we create life. It's a womb with an embryo inside. Okay? Abundance. It doesn't run out. It doesn't exhaust. It's running low, so I'm going to complete the rune again. We're going to do the same one that we did before, but now you're going to look at it maybe and see more details that you didn't see before. So we take 3 Othalas, and they're concentric, right? Now you'll notice if you do that, you almost have a complete web of weird just by itself. And you add Wotanas, Wili, Weo, you add the 3 brothers, and now you have a complete web of weird. And then you do 3 Feus around the outside for abundance, giving to others.
and that's our ritual.